This conference will now be recorded.
So today we will discuss about Charaka Samhita Siddhisthana. So first of all, we will discuss with the Charaka Samhita Siddhisthana importance, and later on we will go for the Bastisutriya, that is the third chapter of Siddhisthana in detail. So if you have questions, please ask in your chat box so I can reply you at the end of our session. Okay, so what is Siddhisthana? If we will see the place or location of Siddhisthana, it is just uh, after Chikitsasthana, the Kalpasthana is there, and the lastly Siddhisthana is there. If we will go in the detail of Siddhisthana, for historical point of view, you can see the portion was not available in the 9th century. We know that the Dridabala has some Puritam or re-edited the Charak Samhita, and he has himself contributed near about 41 chapters. That is from Chikitsasthana 17 chapters and Kalpas Siddhi each 40. So total 41 chapters he had dedicated or contributed in Charak Samhita. So Dridabala has his impact over his uh, Siddhisthana, especially Kalpasthana totally. And it is the dedication or contribution of our Dridabala. So we must remember before starting Siddhisthana, that is he is the expounder of Charak Samhita. Now, what is the utility of Siddhisthana? So if we want exactly the perfectness in our Ayurvedic, especially purificatory measures, that is the Panchakarma, we must undergo this Siddhisthana by heart. And then only we will be successful in our clinical practice. So many more minute details, pro and adverse effects of especially Panchakarma procedures are described in Siddhisthana. It is serving as add-on note to many overlap factors not mentioned at other places in Samhita. Because in Sutrasthana, Vaman Virechan is described. Okay. In Kalpasthana also, Vaman Virechan Kalpas are mentioned mainly. And where the Basti is not much addressed in previous actually sthanas, or the we can say sections. Otherwise, it is explaining the procedures in the most scientific way, dealing with every aspect level of standard operative procedures, drugs to be used, psychological status, as well as the psychopathological markers in the patient. So today we are talking about the SOPs, and the SOPs is a part of research, but we never look or we never study Charak Samhita, as it has mentioned everywhere the standard operative procedures, but we have not used to see in that way. So we should make our vision clear, and we should see that those all classical texts are very scientifically described in the research manner also, or standard protocols are also developed, and they have practiced since many years. We are also unknowingly practicing it, but we have not seen it under the heading standard operative procedures. So mainly Siddhisthana is described as SOPs, SOPs of Panchakarma, and mainly it is dedicated as the Basti is the Ardha Chikitsa, and it is not as much addressed before. More emphasis is given on Basti Panchakarma here, or from Panchakarma, the Basti chapter, mainly Basti Karma. Now, main features of Siddhisthana, we will see that first they were compiled over the standard operative procedures of Panchakarma. It has highlighted the Basti, just we have discussed. Major share of the text has been devoted explaining various aspects of the Basti, its importance, types, clinical relevance, and practical aspect. The procedure details of Vaman and Virechan are a little bit less. Why this is? Because it is already explained in Kalpasthana in detail, as well in Sutrasthana also. That's why. This may be probably because of it has to be read in continuation with the Kalpasthana, where details of woman as well as Virechana formulations and their modus operandi have been given. As well, it has been previously explained in Sutrasthana, is an exclusive chapter. That means Vaman Virechan is dedicatedly explained in Sutrasthana. And that's why the more emphasis is given on Basti, especially in Siddhisthana. The minute details of observations seen in day by day clinical practice, like reasons for Basti medicines, for what reaching its destinations, reasons for long retention without expulsion or early expansion, etc., mentioned along with the optimal response of the Basti procedure. Means ideal protocol or standard operating procedure of Basti is explained. But if suppose the Basti is immediately expelled, then what has to do? What has Vaidya or physician is supposed to do? That all details are explained. That the person has to, in standard operating procedure, it is mentioned that the person has to go toilet and fulfill his natural urges first, and then he should go for the Basti. But even though then, if suppose the Basti, while giving Basti, the person has urge to go for toilet, then there much minor details are also explained that the physician should allow to go for toilet and again administer the same quantity of Basti. Such minor details are explained, and that's why it is a very practical clinical guide, we can say, Siddhisthana. Explain minor details of Basti, not only about the procedural details, but about the material of the nozzle, its shape, size, logical reasons, why the left lateral position is there, etc. Now, Siddhisthana is the cardinal part of the treatise, that is Charaka Samhita, that imparts knowledge regarding successful modes of therapeutic administration, distinct characteristics in comparison to other portions with respect to its content, arrangement of the chapters, and addition of much significant information which was not included before. Means still Kalpasthana we are talking about. Siddhisthana deals with various practical aspects and therapeutic panchakarma procedures and its successful administration. Now see, it is in continuation with Kalpasthana. Various therapeutic formulations are there. Okay. But the practical skill of a physician, where it supersedes not the only theoretical knowledge, not only the textual knowledge, especially when it comes to Ayurvedic formulation. Now in Kalpasthana, various formulation is described, but how to use, where to use, that skill we can achieve only after learning Siddhisthana. Okay, so Siddhisthana is a practical guide. Success in managing unpredictable clinical situations evolves from the logical understanding and modifications of the therapeutic formulation. So in short, we can say here, Siddhisthana deals with the standardization and successful administration of various therapeutic purification procedures. Okay, and next, now after introduction, we'll go for the third chapter, that is the Bastisutriyam Siddhi. Now in this Bastisutriyam Siddhi Adhyaya, standard practices of Basti, its standard operative procedures, the formulations, how to give, where to give, that all questions are addressed here. And before Bastisutriya Adhyay, it was not explained anywhere in the Charaka Samhita in this manner. So that is the importance of Bastisutriya Adhyay, that Basti is addressed thoroughly in this chapter. Now, in subject, we will see first the introduction, that the previous chapter, Panchakarmiya Siddhi, is the name of chapter, dealt with the indications, contraindications of Panchakarma and its application. Now, one of the content of Kalpana Siddhi, that is Basti Kalpana, is elaborated in the chapter. The first chapter is Kalpana Siddhi. The second one is the Panchakarmiya Siddhi. And the third one is a Basti Sutriya. That is the Kalpana Siddhi has many questions, and it's how to give the Basti is also one question in Kalpana Siddhi that we have discussed in the classroom. And here Now, how to give it Basti, that is elaborated in this chapter. Now, Basti Chikitsa, its important is explained in this slide, that is regarded as the prime treatment modality with Panchakarma. This Basti is called as the Ardha Chikitsa, that is half of the major treatment, Sardha Chikitsa Ardha. Now, why? Because if we go in review that the Nanatmaja Vikara, so Vata diseases are 80, Pitta are 40, and Kaphaja diseases are, or Kapha origin diseases are 20. Now see, Vata diseases are 80. Okay, no, means Vata, I mean, so the diseases which are having Vata origin are 80, and the Kapha origin has 40, and Pitta origin has 40 and Kapha origin has 20. So if we add Kapha and Pitta together, it becomes 60. So it is more than Chikitsartha actually. Just I am giving an example. Okay, so that's why it is called Sardha Chikitsa or Chikitsartha, which cures Vata disorders. Basti Chikitsa is not only useful for Vata disorders, but it is of Samsarga of Vata or Sannipata of Vata or Samsarga of Kapha and Pitta also. Okay, Samsarga is a combination of two doshas, Sannipata is of three doshas. You know now it better because you are a senior scholar of Ayurveda now. The Kaphaja and Vataja disorders also. Even because we know that pitta pangu kapha pangu pangavo maladhatava havayunayatraniyasti tatra gachanti megava. If kapha and pitta himself are alone vitiated, they don't have capacity to vitiate vata, or they don't have capacity to vitiate the others immediately, dhatus also. But vata, due to its chala property, that is moving property, it is vitiating immediately other doshas also. That's why we have to take care of Vata more, like son-in-law. So Shastra or science has used the word Dama. Okay, so like a son-in-law, we have to take care. Now Shakhagata diseases can be also treated with Vata. Posthagata diseases, that is diseases of GI tract, also addressed with this Basti Chikitsa. Considering this rationale, the third chapter is devoted for the Basti Karma and given first place in the Siddhisthana. Okay, so previous first and second chapter are little but introductory chapter of the Siddhisthana, we can say, like, or explaining some details, remaining details of Vaman and Virechan special. Now, these are the 10 questions which are asked by Agnivesha, disciple Agnivesha. Agnivesha is disciple of Atreya, Punarvasu Atreya. So, this whole text, Charaka Samhita, is in the discussion or a scientific discussion between the Guru and his disciple, that is Punarvasu Atreya and Agnivesha. So Agnivesha has asked this question to his Guru, that is, what are the factors observing which the enema can be administered with success? Second is, what material shall be used to prepare a nozzle? What is its length and shape? That means the nozzle's length and shape. What is its quality and what are the source of enema bag that can be respectable, and what should be their qualities? So Basti Netra and the questions about Basti Putaka. Okay, that is the bag where we retain the liquid to administer. And the next is, what is the pharmaceutical formula or the recipe for the Niruha? Now we know where that what is Anuvasan, what is Niruha, or what is Asthapan. That is Niruha or Asthapan are the synonyms, and it is mainly containing the decoction. Next question, Agnivesha has asked that what is its mode of administration? What is the measure of enema solution? What is the proportion of unctuous substance? What is the position and procedure followed for enema while the patient on examination bed? And what are the varieties of enema, that is the different recipe or formulations, and in whom are they indicated? Means the recipe and for which patient we have to use it. Like that, this questions pattern is also very scientific or synchronized, and it is systematically answered by Guru, the great Guru, Punarvasu Atreya. Okay, so for Kai Chikitsa Sampradaya, Punarvasu Atreya is the pioneer one. And we are directly here getting guidance by Punarvasu Atreya. Okay, so the first consideration before administration of Basti. So what we should consider that Basti administered after careful examination of a particular patient or a healthy subject or the healthy patient, we can say person. That the dosha, that is which is the predominance dosha. Then the next is ausha, that is the potency of the drug. Then desha, that is the place of living, and body of a patient where we are, that patient is. Then khala, that is the season and the time of administration. Then Satmya, what is the Satmya of that patient, of the person, Akamsam. Agni, that is the factor responsible for the process of digestion and metabolism, we can say digestive power. Sattva, that is the mind. Oka, that is the habituation due to continuous use, that is the Oka Satmya. Satmya is also listed separately and Oka Satmya is listed separately. Then Bala, then Vaya, and then Basti is capable for the providing the significant result. Now, do we consider all those things before administering the Basti? That is, what is the Sattva, what is the Vaya, what is the Bala? We just blindly follow where we are observing these things. So one should not. So Charakacharya has given us the royalty that you have to make vision and you have to do pariksha of each and individual object separately. And that's why Ayurveda is called as a personalized medicine. And if you don't consider it as a personalized or individual detailed characteristics of that patient, like Satmya, Agni, etc., then we are not doing the treatment as per classics. Okay, we are implementing our own Ayurveda. That is like, Dr. Chaudhari Ayurveda. So it should not be like Ayurveda, should be practiced like Ayurveda. So Basti Netra then, that is the nostril apparatus. Now first guidance is about that Basti Netra. So three Karnika or the ridges should be there. And the material can be used gold, silver, copper, bronze, cow's horn, bones of animals and organs. Means the hollow thing like a pipe can be used, which has the one hand can be used as a very narrow part, which can be administered to the anus. Now here, one cable is described that at the age of 6, the length of the nozzle should be 6 angula, here approximate 6 inches, and the hole size or the hole, that caliber should be of green gram, mudga. Then of 12 years, that 8 angular length, and that should be of we can say Badar beach. Okay, that should be the caliber of the hole. Then at the age of 20, the length can be 12, and it should be a peanut caliber, a little bit like that. Okay, so hole should be forked with the worm. Now see, not like today the basti or enema pot or the syringes were available. Now why it was like that? Whether it was not possible to invent them the instrument like syringe or that basti enema pot, simple gravitational force, when other desha sanyoga hetuhu apakshepanam, okay, like those all knowing things were there, but the aim behind that basti putak and basti netra was by hand you are supposed to compress it, and that much slowly the basti should be administered. This is the aim behind that. Okay, and that's why those all things are described. Now circumference of the nozzle at the base and its top should be the same that of the thumb and the little finger of the person. Now say, you may say that how now this can be implemented, whether I am possible, it is not possible every time it is of peanut caliber or it is of mudga caliber. So it's simple, it is explained now. A person whom you are giving, that should be of its basti putak side should be of thumb size, and the anal side or the other end, which should be supposed to be inserted in the anus of the person, that should be of little finger size. So this is a very practical approach we can see. Basti netra should be straight and tapering like a tail of cow. Now, एका बाजूला रुंद आणि दुसऱ्या बाजूला निमुळत, tapering like a tail of a cow. Now, the mouth of the nozzle should be smooth and the globular. That means it should not hurt to the at the time of insertion to the anus or anal canal, and that's why it is smooth and globular. It should not be sharp. Okay, so the figure here, the picture is given. One is the metallic one, the other one is the plastic or the fiber one, and the one is the steel one. Now see, one ring should be fixed at the level of the 1/4 from the top, and two other rings should be fixed at the base in order to facilitate tying the mouth of the bladder. So these rings are called as a karnika. Now we will discuss about Bastiputaka. Okay, that is the holder bag of the Basti Dravya. So urinary bag of the animals. Anciently it were used, and that's why the name of the procedure is Basti. That the urinary bladder of buffalo, sheep, goat, cow, etc. That is the bigger size animals are very used for it. Now, what should be the features? That it should be Dhrudha, that is strong, Tanu, that is thin, Nashta Shira, that is devoid of veins because there are chances of leakage if the too much veins are there after drying it. Then Vigandha, that is devoid of odor, means it should be properly preserved. Okay, so it should not have bad smell. Then it is called as a Kashayarkta. This is the quality that is properly dried or maintained, then you are supposed to use it. That is of saffron red color, means we can say light orange color. Then Sumrudu, soft, because it should not be hard. It should be like a ball. You can easily, like a plastic bag, you can easily insert the dravyas in it. We can put the dravyas in it like kwatha, and we can push it properly also. Sushuddha means properly cleaned, and next is the size accordingly. Yathanupur. Okay. Sorry, the previous one. In case of non-availability of urinary bladder, Plavajagala, that is the throat of pelican. Then Ankapada, that is the skin of the back. Now Ghanapada, that is the strong cloth, should be used. Now plastic bags are more comfortable and easily available. So we should not use thin plastic because Basti Dravya is supposed to be little hot or warm. I should say, instead of hot, I should say warm. And then we can store the material inside it. So the inert material, good quality of plastic bag we have to use, I need to say. So it is just this Basti Putak description is from science, or how our ancient followers or the scholars of Ayurveda were using or following, that is indicated here. Now next is preparation of administration of Basti formulation. Now this one formula is indicated here, and then the proportion is described. Bala, Guduchi, Haritaki, Vibhitaki, Amalaki, Rasna, Billuva, Shonaka, Gambhari, Patala, Shalaparni, Rushniparni, Bruhati, Kantakari, and Gokshu. So do you remember what is that? Bilvagni Mantha, except Agni Mantha, the all 9 dravyas are there from Nashamuka. Okay, Bilva, Agni Mantha, Shonaka, Patala, Ganikarika. Okay, and then the Shaliparni, Krishnaparni, then Brihati is also upper side, Khantakari, and Gokshu is from one also. Now 8 fruits of Madana, and the other things 1 pala each. So I will not go in detail. That is what is 1 pala. Okay, so 1 karsha, that is 4 karsha is equal to 1 pala. That means in simple, 1 karsha is approximately equal to 1 tola, that is the 10 grams. So 1 pala is near about 40 grams. Is it correct? So you can go through like that. Okay. So goat meat now, that is half kilo, with water and boil till 1/4 of water remains for. Then after filtration, you are supposed to use. Now Khalka Dravyas are explained here. Khalka Dravyas are Yavani, Madanfal, Bilva, okay, Kushtha, Vacha, Shatavaha, that is Balanshepa, Ghana, then Pippali. Now this 1 tola of each is supposed to be used. That is the 10 gram each. Now see, if we go total quantity of this Niruha Basti, or what is called Aftapana Basti, near about 1090 grams, or sorry, 60 grams it becomes. So these dravyas are Yavani 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1 tola each, that becomes 80 grams. And in general, if you don't want to go in calculations, in general, 1/10 amount of the kwatha should be a paste or khalkadravya. Then jaggery, definitely organic material you are supposed to use. Jaggery, that is Guda. Purana Gudu you are supposed to use, that is 1 pun. Then ghee and oil 1 prasrita. Honey and rock salt again, appropriate quantities. Now it is not mentioned here exactly the weight or the measurement. Bladder should be, then that basti putak should be tied on the to the base of the nostril, that is basti netra. The air inside the bladder should be removed and the bladder should be free from folds. Okay, so the tight, that basti putak should be like this previous slide, which we have seen in this plastic bag. Now that plastic bag is containing the air. It is not supposed to be in this slide which we are seeing. So when the application is there, the plastic bag should be completely filled with the dravyas, or you should tie V like that. And even though from Basti Netra, the air should be removed and then the cork is supposed to be tied. And when we will reach at the anus, that cork we are supposed to take out and then administer Netra. That the Basti Data dosh, that is Savat Basti, will be not there. Okay, so to avoid that, this is necessary. So coming to the point again, the air should be removed completely. Thereafter, the Varti, just now I have discussed, that is the cotton plug kept at the opening should be removed, and the opening should be covered with the middle part of the thumb. And then it is supposed to be administered. Patient whose Nehana is completed, who has passed urine and stool, that means the natural urges should be fulfilled, who is not very hungry, should be made to sleep over a well spread, not very high bed, which is uniform in the level or which is slightly low at the head side. Okay, so now low at the head side should not like this much tilted. It is supposed to be little tilted, like just maximum of 3 to 5 inches. Okay, or 3 to 5 fingers. This much distance should be there at the head side, so that the basti will retain for more time. Okay. Patient should lay comfortably on his left side and as pillow. Flex his right leg, keeping the left leg straight. Now this is a very proper position is mentioned. Now why this is mentioned? Okay, why this is mentioned? That is described here. Anus of the patient should be lubricated and the lubricated nozzle should be inserted into the up to 1/4 part of the top slowly and straight following the position of the vertical column. Physician should not shake his hand and quickly compress the bladder so that the content goes inside at one stretch. Thereafter, we should take out the nozzle slowly. Now, these are the some instructions. Now, see, if we don't follow these standard operative procedures to administer Basti, then some consequences may happen that are described here. Consequences of wrong administration of nozzle. If it is obliquely inserted, means not following the track of the anal canal, then what happens? Fluid will not flow into the rectum because the point or the opening of the nozzle will stuck with the wall of the anal canal or maybe just below the rectum. Okay, so this can be one possibility that the Basti Dravya can be pushed properly inside. Shifted from one place to the another, then this may cause anal injury. If the dravyas are not going properly, we will try to shift the nozzle here and there, so it may cause the injury. Then second, bladder is compressed slowly. Enema fluid will not reach to the colon. Means very slow, very fast. Both things are not good. So the first slowly compression is described, that the Basti Dravya is supposed to be not only in the anal canal, but it should cover the rectum as well as it should go to the large intestine, or that is colon. Now, if bladder, that is Basti Puta, is strongly compressed, means fast, the fluid may rush very fast, and here it is exaggerated, it may come to the throat also. That is, it may go to the intestine, stomach, like that. Oh, okay, so it should not be very fast. Then Basti fluid is very cold, it may cause stiffness. Basti fluid is very hot, then it may cause burning sensation and fainting. Basti fluid is very anxious, it may cause numbness. If the Basti fluid is atiruksha, then it may also cause aggravation of vayu. Basti fluid is very thin or added with less quantity of salt, even though that kalka, then it may lead to ayoga, means the proper purification will not be there. Next is Basti fluid administration in large quantity will cause ati yoga. Now, next to that, if the Basti fluid is viscid, it may cause emaciation of the patient and it moves into the colon very slowly. Next to that, Basti fluid contains salt in excess. Then what may happen? It may cause burning sensation and even though diarrhea, these are. Hence, Basti should be properly administered. Now, many times we may say, "Aise hota hai." So it is not most of the times due to patient's side or the person's side, but not properly administration is the main sign, and it will not give us the 100% results, or we can make a complication caused by the physician, caused by the therapist. Like we call it that Vaidyakrit Vyapar. Now, what should be the sequence? It is not that the kwatha first, then the oil first, then you should add the salt. It is not like जैसे हम क्या कहते हैं झोंक देते हैं किसी सब्जी को या किसी करी को, उस तरीके से बस्ती नहीं करनी है आपने. There is a scientific protocol what to add first, how to add. That sequence for basti we have to follow. First, the madhu and sendhava should be taken into the khalva. That the porcelain khalva or the tritua is available now in every OPD or Panchakarma center. It should be. The rock salt should be taken properly first. It should be crushed and then it should be added with the honey. So the paste, uniform paste should be made. Then this neha, maybe oil, maybe ghee, or maybe both of them will be available. Then the kalka, kashaya, and avapa that should be added. Then with the churner, we are supposed to churn it properly, and then basti should be administered to the patient lying on only left lateral side. Why left lateral side? Again, the scholar or the Charakacharya has mentioned that the Grahani and Buddha are situated on the left side of the body, and that's why that the valley or the walls get relaxed and the nozzle can be used. Many times we do, surprise, now this much size of nozzle is there, how it can go to the anus? Do you have observed sometimes the proctoscope, how much bigger size it is having? So instead of that, if we do proper oiling of the anus, proper anal area, proper oiling of the nozzle, then it can be easily administered. Okay, so don't do in that way. Don't think in that way that how the bigger size Basti Netra can be used. If during middle of administration the patient gets an urge to pass feces or flatus, then the nozzle should be drawn out, and when the urge has passed away, then the remaining dravya should be injected. The person should lie in the supine position. Now the basti is administered totally. Now what to next? This is actually post procedure of actually pradhana karma. This is the paschata karma. Person should lie supine on the bed with his body in a raised position by means of pillow in such a way that the effect of basti pervades the whole body. The first enema helps in the elimination of vata. The second enema, I should say basti actually, it is a medicated enema, helps in the elimination of pitta, and the third basti helps in the elimination of kapha from the ashaya. So many times we say, kala basti, karma basti, yoga basti. This according to the number, the therapies are described, but we don't follow. We make our own way. So we are not supposed to do it. Because until and unless we should not follow the classical basti procedure number also, then we will not get the results. Okay. Now follow-up regimen after basti administration. Now after the basti dravya has come out, what we are supposed to do, the patient should be sprinkled over tepid water, and thereafter the diet containing shali rice along with meat soup should be given. Now see here, the little bit nutritive or having nourishment food but easily digestible that we are supposed to give to the patient, or we should advise to take. Now in the evening, after the previous meal is digested, light food in small quantity should be given. Therefore, Anuvasan Basti should be given to the patient for the overall nourishment. Okay, that means Niro Basti should always followed by Anuvasan Basti. And whenever we are supposed to start the Basti treatment, we should start with the Anuvasan Basti. We should end with the Anuvasan Basti. So what is Anuvasan Basti? That is the medicated oil cooked by adding amla. Vatagna dravya should be 1/4 in the quantity of the fluid used for Niruha Basti. Now, Diruha Basti is not only the decoction in Sneha must be there. Otherwise, it will called Rukshada, and due to Ruksha Guna, Vata dosha will be increased. And which Sneha we are supposed to use? That with Vatagana and especially Amla Rasa Dravya, that is sour taste Ayurvedic herbs. After the administration of oil, the buttocks of the patient should be tapped with palms to prevent early return of the Basti Dravya. Means properly, here the next position is also mentioned. The patient should be on the bed in supine position, and the toe joints of the both his legs should be pulled gently. The heel, calf, and other painful part should be massaged with the oil. Thereafter, the patient should take rest comfortably by keeping his head over a pillow. Now see here what we do, if the patient can or the person can move, not bedridden or not physically having difficulty, then we are supposed to practically give him that Janu Asana. That means our knees, he is supposed to over knees he is supposed to bend on the bed, okay, and head low, and then we are supposed to taper on his buttocks so that the tapering will allow basti more go into the colon, and then it will retain properly. Okay, many times what we have sorry, many times what happens, we give we didn't administer, we don't administer the nozzle properly, means 4 fingers at least. Okay, and then the basti dravya is at the lower rectum side or in the anal canal, and it comes out immediately. So that's why proper administration is necessary. Now here in general for the niruha basti the proportions are given. You can, that's the speciality of Charaka. In general also, he do guide us how to administer any procedure or general proportion mathematics. Even though you can make your own recipe also, but it should be following with the science Ayurveda principles. Decoction 5 parts. If phytic disease is there or the healthy person is there, then the quantity of sneha, that is the oil, whether it is medicated or plain, it should be of 1/6 of the total quantity. If vatic disease is there, then the quantity should be of 1/4 of the total quantity. And if the Kapha's disease is there, then it should be of 1/8 quantity of the disease. Now, little bit here, I think a little bit, it should be of 1/4 of the total quantity, 1/6 of that, then 1/8. So it should be like that. Vata should have more oil. Okay. Now, dose of the Niruha. So start with the dose of Niruha, that is the decoction enema, with 1 prasruta. 1 prasruta is approximate 80 ml for first year. Means if the 1 year is the age of the person whom we are administrating, the dose should be of 18 ml, 80. Then increase it half prasruta, that's 40 ml, till 12th year. Then increase it 1 prasruta. After 12th year means 13 to 18, we are supposed to increase 1 prasruta, that is 80 ml each time. So reaching maximum dose of 12 prasruta, that means 960 ml, 960. Okay. So by mistake, previously I have seen 1060 ml. So it should not be 1060 ml. It should be of 960 ml. So this is the maximum dose. The dose after 70 years is equal for the dose of the 60 years. That means it should be of less 160 ml. That is the 800 ml. Okay, it will be 800 ml after 70 years. In children and elderly person, Mrudu Basti should be given. Now, why this is there? Mridu Bhakti means quantity should be a little bit moderate. Now, again, Sattva, Sapnya, this should be considered. It should not be generalized. Okay. So here now is the actually some more details about Basti. That the table of administration of Basti we are discussing here, how it should be. That table arrangement should not too high or at the head and at the end also. Head end it should not be too high. Foot end should not be too low. That means we have seen that foot end should be little bit up and head end should be little down. Having a footstep means the patient should comfortably go. What should be the ideal height? It should not be like a bed, sleeping bed, and it should not be like very up. So I always do recommend practically it should be of see every person's physician height is different. For your batch, the Srikant height is different and Pratik height is different somehow, or Narayan height is different, and what we can say, I think Rinki joined. No? Rinki's height is a little bit short. So accordingly, your waist line, you are supposed to be that platform of the table should be of your waist height. Okay, so it should be covered with soft bed. It should be comfortable. It should not be very hard. Patient should wear white dress. Now this is for the having good sattva qualities. Lie on the table face. Okay, facing the head to the east. Now this is again important thing that the purva should be the disha for the head. As per the disease, the diet is also advised after basti that the yusha, that is the soup. Yusha is of, we can say, of like moong or masoor or tur. This we are supposed to use lentils for kapha. Then kshira is supposed to be for pitta and mausarata for vata. Now various basti formulations are described here. Okay, we will not go in detail. First recipe is Dvipanchamuladi, and then after that 10 recipes are described. The proportions are different, the herbs are different, and accordingly the uses are advised. Okay, how it is used or where it is used. Maximum number of bastis are described here now. For Vata Jaroga, that is diseases origin by Vata vitiation, Snigdha, Ushna, and Mausarasa Yukta, one basti is supposed to be used. Then Pitta Jaroga, Madhura Shita Dravya, with Dugdha, we are supposed to use 2 in number. In Kapha Jaroga, Mutra, Katu, Ushna, Tikshna Dravyas are supposed to be used, 3 in number. And Niruha basti should not be given in excess of these specific numbers. Okay, so whether we follow this, we know just Vyatyasat, we have to give Anuvasa, Niruha, that's all. Okay, so again, if the diseases are too much, we are allowed to use more number of bastians. Okay, because if the disease is chronic and vitiation of doshas is more, sometimes the three bastis are not only enough. But in general, the guideline is given here. Now see, follow-up diet again is mentioned here. Return after return of the Niruha Basti, Mausaras, Kshira, Yusha, we have discussed this already. That Mausaras is for Vata, Kshira is for Pitta, and Yusha is for Kapha diseases. Then after light meal, the person is fit for Anuvasan Basti, then Bilva Tela for Vata diseases, Jivaniya Tela for Pitta diseases, and Madan Phala for Kapha diseases should be used respectively. That's why in the slide we have used the synchronized color. Intelligent physician should who adopt in those practices or in these practices which are mentioned in Bastisutriya will get success in the world. The word is used here, not only your area or in your village or in your city, not only your country, but the world, overall world. Okay, so we conclude our lecture here. Thank you for your patiently hearing, and we will go for now questions.